Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer. I am the librarian at the Lamb Branch Library, and I'm here to tell you about this month's Early Literacy Kit. This is a to-go kit that we do at the Lamb Branch, and if you're not familiar with them, these were developed as a way to help people kind of replicate the storytime experience at home, since we're not able to do them in the library right now, and not everyone can access the virtual story times that we have every Wednesday morning at 10:30. So these are great because they are designed to stand alone for people who don't have access to the virtual story times, but they do also complement the virtual story times, so they work either way. So this month, as you might guess, with being February, we have some things that are Valentine's related. So it comes in just a plain flat brown bag like that. And the first thing you'll want to look at when you get it is the information sheet that comes out each month and looks something like this. So parents and caregivers are your child's first teacher. And simple everyday things that you do with your child, talking, singing, playing, writing, and reading all help contribute to their early literacy skills, which again doesn't mean trying to teach a 2 or 3-year-old to read. It means just helping them develop language, learn vocabulary, start to recognize letters, and understand that even if they can't read yet, that print stands for something, and most of all, to get them excited about reading and to think that reading is fun and understand that reading is not only a source of entertainment, but a source of information. So these, again, are simple everyday activities under these different categories that you can do, while you're running errands, doing housework, running to pick up your older child. So some of the things under talk, you can tell a story together, take turns. You can start a story or let your child start the story and tell a little bit of it, and then the next person picks up and continues. And you can keep doing that until you get to an ending, or it may be a never-ending story that you can just be your normal routine that you do in the car while you're running around. Some of the other things is to talk about something you love about each other and something you love about yourself. So it's always good to let kids know that it is okay to be proud of things about themselves and to help build their self-esteem. And if you have a younger child who's not verbal yet, and when infants start babbling, just babble back to them, and that encourages them to babble even more, and that helps them develop all the sounds they will need for language. For playing together is another thing that encourages children to use not only their imagination, creativity, they get to use their expressive language, learn turn taking, and how to work together. One of the things suggested for this month is one of the crafts is based on Garrett Morgan, who invented the first 3-signal traffic light or traffic signal. And we have an activity where they will be doing a traffic light. And so after you talk about Garrett Morgan and his invention and do the craft, then you can play a game of red light, green light. Give them a large box. If you have a box, a large shipping box, an appliance came in, give it to them and let their imaginations take them away. You can give them, markers or other things to decorate it with, or just let them use their imagination. Some great pre-writing activities that are good for younger kids that help with their fine motor skills and hand strength and things that they will need for writing later. You can pour salt or cornmeal or sugar, something like that, in a tray and let them use their finger to trace. And they can try and make letters or just make letter-like shapes depending on their age. Another fun one that is great for grown-ups too is popping bubble wrap. Okay, that again works their pincher grasp and popping the smaller bubbles. It uses hand strength and fine motor skills, and it can also be very calming. And then for this month, February is also Library Lovers Month. So I've included this sheet where, depending on the age of the child, they can either write or they could dictate to you and you could write for them, or they can draw a picture to show or tell what they love about the library. And you can either drop it off at the library or post it to our Facebook page under this post in the comments. We would love to see and hear what your kids have to say. And we also have a station in the library for grown-ups to leave comments on what they love about the library and what they would love to see more of in our library. So that is in there, and I hope you guys will do that and share them with us. For singing, we have lots of children's music on CD at the library you can check out. Play instruments at home if you have toy instruments, or do the old-fashioned way and improvise with pots and pans and lids and spoons. And then on the back of the sheet, I have some songs and finger plays for you. And I'll tell more about them in a minute. And then I also have a list of different book suggestions. And this month, we are focusing on things related to love and kindness for Valentine's Day. And then also with it being Black History Month, I've tried to highlight some Black authors and illustrators. And I always include an alphabet book and accounting book in this list as well. And then on the back, the first song we have is like bingo, except it's instead of spelling out bingo, you spell out the word heart. And I have given you some cutout letters of H-E-A-R-T that spell out the word heart that you can use along with this. So you can, just lay them on the floor or put tape on them, put them on the fridge, and do that song. And then after the song, you can see how many different words you can make using the letters in the word heart. There's another little rhyme. I have a little heart that lets them do some jumping and some bigger movements. Then there's a space-themed rhyme that is inspired by Katherine Johnson and the other African-American women that worked in the early stages of the space program as mathematicians doing all the critical calculations for trajectories and things like that. And then I have instructions for the crafts included this month, and I'll show you more about that. So also, before we get to the crafts, we always have a few coloring sheets. So I have a couple of Valentine's themed ones, and then we have one of Katherine Johnson and one of George Washington Carver, and it also tells a little bit about their work. And then for Garrett Morgan, like I mentioned before, who developed the first 3-position traffic signal to show and more than just stop and go and greatly improve safety. And he invented a lot of other things as well. So this tells a little bit about that. And then we have a traffic light and some red, green, and yellow papers that they can tear and glue in place and like a collage. So tearing the paper is great for fine motor skills, and it also gives them a sense of cause and effect. And little kids usually find tearing paper very satisfying. And again, this was after this activity, you can play a game of red light, green light. The other craft is making this little Valentine pal. So I've given you a red sheet of paper with the heart drawn on it, white paper to cut strips and accordion fold them for the arms and legs, and then another sheet with different color smaller hearts that you can use to make hands, feet, mouth, whatever accessories. And I did leave this for the kids to cut out themselves if they can, and if you have the appropriate scissors for them. If they're too young for that or you don't have safe scissors, then go ahead and cut it out for them. But if they can, practicing scissor skills is really good for pre-writing as well, and it is something they will need when they get to kindergarten. So that's our other one. And then finally, our last craft is inspired by Michael Hall's book, My Heart is Like a Zoo, where he makes different animals using heart shapes. So I've given... And the kit is a little baggie that has a bunch of different size hearts. There's one big paper heart, and then there's a bunch of smaller foam sticker hearts in different sizes and colors. There's some different size googly eyes for both the craft projects, and there's a glue stick. So, and on the sheet, there's a smaller picture of this that shows just some different ideas of putting them together. So you can make different animals, you know, butterflies, caterpillars. You can make a flower. It doesn't have to be an animal, whatever they'd like to make. And this is an example of one that I put together using the supplies I've given you. So I have a little fish with some heart-shaped bubbles. So I hope they have fun with that, and I would just advise letting them plan it out before they start actually gluing and sticking things together so they're sure it's the way they want it. So I think that is everything in this month's kit, and again, you can pick those up at the Lamb Library. And if you know of anyone who is not able to access our virtual story times or isn't on Facebook to learn about these, let them know they can pick up these kits and help support their child's developing early literacy skills at home. So again, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments or give us a call. We are open now for up to 1 hour of browsing or computer time, so you can just come in, drop by, and pick them up. But we are still doing curbside service if you prefer to do that. Give us a call and make an appointment for that. So I think that's all I have this month, and I'll see you next month. And remember, our virtual story times every Wednesday at 10:30. So take care and have fun.